What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new live stream. And finally got Cobra Kai Season 6, Part 2, giving my full-on review of every episode. So let's get into it. We'll start off with Season 6, Episode 6, obviously. So, 1 second. There we go. All right, Season 6, Episode 6 review. So basically, picks up right where we left off in Part 1. They're at the Saikai Taikai. Gunter, the head of the committee or whatever you want to call it, basically like an orientation kind of a thing, where we see Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai and all the other dojos there, and the captains get all their headbands. Sam, Robbie, Tori, Kwan, and then Sam asks Robbie if he knew anything about Tori going back there, and he said no, I had no idea. Then we cut to them arriving to the hotel, and of course, despite these past 6.5 seasons, Johnny and Daniel still haven't learned. They're still bickering. They're still arguing over the same shit, like same old, same old. You have the Miyagi-Do teens talking in the hotel. Dimitri and Hawk just start off like really annoying, just bickering over the MIT stuff. They got Devin and Sam talking about the Thoeries situation. Then we get a pretty cool scene of Kwan and the Korean Cobra Kai group basically going up to Miyagi-Do and start trying to push their buttons and all, whatever you want to call it. Obviously this pisses Hawk off and snaps back at him, and then they kind of have to hold him back. Then Tori walks by. Before Robbie even gets a chance to say anything, she goes down the elevator. That's basically that. Then we get this scene where they go to the whatever it was. Like, I don't remember what it was. Whatever you call it. It was like an event where like they have all the food and stuff. See, Tori has a scene with Kreese and Kim where this really confuses me. Tori, snaps at Kim saying like, "You're the one who broke my hand." She's like, "You broke your own hand." And Kreese just stands there like he doesn't even care. I'm like, which is really weird because remember me and Melissa were saying like way before Season 6 even came out that like once Kreese finds out what Kim did to Tori, want nothing to do with her. Well, apparently we were wrong because it seemed like he could give less of a frick. But they had that, thing at the aquarium, where Robbie were like, they take the pictures for the captains, like Sam and Robbie were there, Tori and Kwan were there, Axel and Zara were there. Robbie finally gets a moment alone with Tori, and he gets to, talk with her a bit, and they kind of have like a conversation. And it doesn't go great. And then Sam walks in, Tori sees her, and then Tori just starts to tear up, and then she, walks off. Then later on, like Kwan starts taunting Miyagi-Do, and he challenges Robbie for the kick thing, and they foolishly bet away their room. Kwan gets a way higher kick than Robbie, and then they end up losing a room. Devin talks with Tori. That actually goes smoother than with Robbie. Sam comes in and, drags Devin away, but Tori actually was willing to speak with Sam. And respect to Sam for how she handled it. She's like, I don't agree with your decision, but I'll respect it. So I did like that out of Sam's character. Then they all have to share like one room because, like I said, they gambled their room away. And then Sam, puts Robbie on blast for not saying anything about Kreese going to Thoery and saying like he and Thoery got played by Kreese. And I don't think it was really fair to put that all on Robbie, but it is what it is. Then you got like the banquet scene or whatever of like, Kreese is there, like the place where they're trying to get sponsorships, or like Johnny starts having a problem with Wolf about something over steak. And, Daniel has to intervene. And then, they get in a confrontation with Kreese, and then Chosen shows up drunk. And all that, just not making Miyagi-Do look very good. Trying to remember what else happened after that. But like Kim was there as well. Daniel's trying to find out more about Miyagi as well. Robbie and Thoery get a moment alone again. And, Thoery puts him on pause. I don't think it was an actual breakup. I mean, I guess you can call it that, but like, I think she just wanted both of them to be able to focus on the tournament, like saying like, probably this isn't the best time. Like like maybe this isn't good for you. She basically like said like she still wants him to be by her side on that, mat, like they said. And Robbie gets frustrated and says like your problem is like you can't trust anybody but yourself, which is pretty much true. He just walks off frustrated. Then we get the day of the Seikai Taikai matches, where Thoery gets frustrated because Kwon wants nothing to do with her. He's like saying like you just stay out of the way or whatever. And then Thoery vents her frustration to Kim Dae-yoon. She said, then don't give him a choice, and that's exactly, what she did. She just walks past him and, she strikes first. And, she did pretty well. And it was clear as day, Miyagi-Do just wasn't on the same page. Robbie couldn't focus. Sam did the best she could. Miguel did the best he could. Devin just isn't good enough. And then Eli and Dimitri, that's a whole nother thing. Miyagi-Do loses, and then Cobra Kai and Iron Dragons is the only ones remaining. So all their fighters take a knee and eliminate themselves, leaving just Axel and Zara. And Axel and Zara just dominated. They just took care of business. The way Axel was just able to like just take down Kwon and Yoon so easily was just, it was scary. And then, Zara had her line from the trailer we saw, and the episode pretty much ends there of like revealing Iron Dragons as like a legitimate threat to both dojos. So, that's pretty much wraps up that episode. Now, what grade? I'm gonna grade this episode. I'm gonna give it a B. I thought it was all right. It wasn't fantastic, but it was a nice opening. But it was all right. I give it a B. Moving on to episode 7. This one basically opens up with the tournament. We see a couple matches. We see like Johnny and Daniel clearly just not on the same page at all. Like you have Johnny telling Sam to go in there, be aggressive and all that. And Daniel's like, no, balance, patience or whatever. Like they looked like the Patriots coaching staff. I'm not even going to lie to you. Like Johnny and Daniel looked like Gerard Mayo and Alex Van Pelt. they looked like they had no idea what they were doing. Like, it was ridiculous. And then obviously, like, the team was clearly frustrated. And Johnny and Daniel getting in another argument once again. And, like, Johnny just taking things a little too far, saying, like, you trying to honor a dead man's legacy. I'm like, whoa, 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 slow down, Johnny. Like, that dead man saved your life. You wouldn't even be standing there talking if it wasn't for him. But it was ridiculous. But Daniel gets called over. He's given a letter saying that, like, oh, the guy that knows about Miyagi wants to speak with you. Like, he's free at this time. So Daniel goes away, leaving me by himself to coach the team. Really don't get that much of Tori in this episode. Like, she's barely in it. But, the team really frustrated. Dimitri already wants to throw in the towel. And him and Hawk are, like, exchanging the middle fingers. Miguel's clearly frustrated. And then Robbie comes out and says, like, hey, what are you guys talking about? They're like, oh, nothing too special. I believe Johnny has a run-in with Wolf again. Daniel takes a cab to the address that he saw in the paper. He gets clocked in the back of the head from a crowbar, and next thing we know, he's locked in a dog cage, which I was like, whoa, 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 what are we doing here? Like, this is Cobra Kai. This is not Breaking Bad. Like, this is a bit much. Now you can really tell that this is the last season. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, this is kind of weird. And then it cuts to, the tournament. Curly's still struggling. Johnny's not doing the best as, a sensei and a leader. Devin falls off. Robbie can't focus because of Tori. Miguel's doing best he can. Dimitri's not doing well. It was not good. And then, they have this whole locker room scene, and, Johnny basically yelling at them, saying, like, where's your fight? Where's your passion? Where's your, spirit? And, Sam gets mad at him, saying, like, you're probably the reason why my dad's not here. And, Devin tries to stand up for Johnny. And this is, like, I love this right here, where Sam puts Devin in her place. She says, like, your sensei is the reason you fell off, so I would sit down if I were you. I don't even know how you made this team. I was like, damn. Like, that was awesome. That was funny. Then after that, I think it, cuts back to Daniel getting out of the dog cage. Then he has to fight Dennis, which it was cool seeing him back, I guess. So he fights Dennis to get out of that situation. Miyagi-Do is able to, the next day, Johnny apologizes, and, they're able to lock in. Of course, Robbie was still struggling. He fell off the platform, but they had to fight Dublin Thunder, which before this, Tori knocked some girl's tooth out. Like, that was freaking brutal. So Yoon raised her fist in the air, and Robbie just doesn't feel good about it. And Robbie still can't focus. He still can't get her out of his head. So he's one of the first to fall off the platform along with Sam. Then Dimitri does the dumbest thing I've ever seen. He does some sort of spin kick. He accidentally knocks Hawk off the platform, and he's like, oh, shit. And then he's not paying attention, and then someone behind him kicks him in the back, and he falls off the platform. Miguel has to race up there, and Miguel was locked in. He freaking carried. He carried. He put this team on his back, and he carried them. He knocked out 3 fighters. He basically secured the win and kept them alive in the tournament. So Miguel was, amazing. And then Daniel returns and Chris is like, well, 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 well. And then Daniel goes up and just grabs him and shoves him up against the wall. And he's like, "You think you can F with me?" And he's like, "Relax, it's just a tournament." Basically signaling that Chris had nothing to do with, his kidnapping. Sam walks in, Daniel gives Sam a big hug, and, you can tell like Daniel was clearly traumatized. And, Sam was clearly concerned for him, but, she lets him know that they made it through the tournament. Johnny pulled through and all that. And then Johnny gets a phone call from Rosa basically saying that like Carmen was rushed to the hospital. There's a problem with the baby. So Johnny and Miguel have to fly back to Los Angeles to make sure she's okay. So they basically switch off. So Daniel now has to take over as, the coach. And, the spot in the tournament is safe for that for now. But I think that's how the episode ended. I don't remember if it ended on some cliffhanger other than that. I don't remember. But episode 7 was probably one of my least favorite out of this batch. But for a grade, I'm gonna give it a C minus. Actually, you know what? No, I'll just give it a C. I think a C is fair. Because we're going to talk about the next episode in a minute, which I felt was worse. But I thought this was all right. I just thought the Daniel dog cage stuff was a bit much, just unnecessary. But on to episode 8, which I thought was the worst out of this batch. Episode 8, we have all the love drama. So basically, it's Johnny and Miguel. They're pretty much on a plane throughout this whole episode, dealing with some rich asshole. Miguel gets frustrated with Johnny. The flight attendant offers him to move. He does so, and then that kind of just screws things up between him and Johnny throughout the most part of this episode. I don't think we got much of the tournament. I think we only got like a few matches, but Daniel and Chosen, talk and, they pretty much discuss the whole like kidnapping thing. Like they may suspect that maybe it wasn't crazy, it was Kim Dayoon who was behind it. But, Chosen basically gave Hawk permission to like go hit the town hard or whatever. So that's what they end up doing. Also, I forgot to mention episode 7 where Sam witnesses Axel getting abused, and she said like, "Don't call him a monster. You don't know what he deals with." So shout out to Sam for that. But yeah, we didn't get anything in the tournament in episode 8. We kind of got a break from it. But all the teens go to the bar. Robbie's venting to Sam about the whole Thoeries situation. And he could, and this is where he starts drinking for the first time. And Tori and Quan and Yoon show up, and that kind of just messes just screws with Robbie throughout this episode. I think the Maria girl, I think that's who she was. Like she goes up to Hawk and Dimitri, and they're basically like saying to each other, like, we just gotta say no. We both have girlfriends. So Hawk does the right thing and says, "Sorry, I have a girlfriend." And then she goes, "Well, what about you?" Dimitri, for a smart kid, is a total dumbass. Says like, "Absolutely," and dances with her. I was like, "Oh my gosh, you got to be kidding me." But you have Chosen and Kim running into each other, trying to find their students to keep them out of trouble. Also, yeah, that scene earlier with Kreese, basically telling Quan to like just mess with the enemy or whatever, and Kim didn't agree with it. But You have Sam, leaving the bar for a bit after Tori showed up. She runs into Axel on the beach. She sees the bruises on his back, and she doesn't agree with, his sensei's methods. And, they start walking together. Um, then back at the bar, you see Johnny, or excuse me, Robbie looking over, and then Quan smirking at him. He puts his arm around Tori and basically asking, like, oh, is your boyfriend a better kisser than a fighter? And what Robbie didn't see was Tori shove him, saying, like, stop that. Like, she clearly didn't like it. Like, she wasn't feeling comfortable with it, but Robbie was not in the right headspace to understand that. So he started ordering more drinks. Tori has an interaction with Zara. Zara's like, maybe you could take a picture of the mat to remember your time here. And Tori just roasts her and says, like, maybe I'll take a picture of you knocked out next to all your teeth. Like, that was funny. That was that was just savage. So she's like, thanks for the drink. So Hawk FaceTimes Moon, and like he just shows her the whole party. But Moon sees Dimitri dancing with Yasmin, or not Yasmin, what the hell, the Maria girl. Yasmin sees it and she's like, are you freaking kidding me? And Hawk's like, oh crap. So he tunes off there. Then Tori leaves the bar because she wants air. Quan goes up to Robbie and, says some pretty messed up shit. Robbie gets up because he's pissed off and he's like, go ahead, make a move. Maybe I'll just kick your ass at the tournament. And Robbie just kind of just backs off. And then he gets approached by Zara, which we'll talk about later. But later on, you have Sam and Axel walking through the city, just talking. Then they get ambushed by Quan and Cobra Kai. And Quan gets in Sam's face and says, like, say the magic word. She's like, move aside. You still wasn't listening. So Axel clenches his fist. Axel pretty much ate that kick from Yoon. And, they get into a fight. They're able to fight him off. But, like, the whole Quan back and said, like, hey, we can't get kicked out of the tournament. So they just run off. And then Sam and Axel run off back to the beach. Then one of the most weirdest things happen. Axel tries to kiss her. I'm like, dude, you've known this girl for like 20 minutes. Like, it was just weird. And then that whole situation just kind of just blew up. And then Amanda has to convince Kenny to join the team because the spot opened up because Miguel wasn't there. So Kenny said no and basically told her about the whole situation, how he thinks that it was Anthony. So Amanda thinks it was Anthony. They get into an argument. She makes him go apologize. Anthony gets punched in the nose by Kenny and they start fighting. And then Amanda has the funniest reaction ever. She's like, fucking karate. And then she like berates them and like explain and like basically shouts like the whole situation at them. So then later on, Anthony decides to make it up to him by drinking laxatives, and the timing was horrible because Devin called and let Anthony know that, or not Anthony, Kenny know that it was her, not him. And by the time they finished the phone call, it was too late. So they had to send Anthony home quickly, excuse me. Kenny agrees to go back there. He has a heart-to-heart with, Amanda, saying like, yeah, it'd be pretty cool to be a world champion. Then back on the airplane, I love the scene that Johnny has with Miguel saying like you have a lot going for you. This is all Robbie has. And like, I want you to know that you're my son too. And I don't think anyone's ever called Miguel a son besides Carmen. So that was beautiful to see. Then the rich asshole comes back and, starts just being a jerk for no reason. Then Miguel clocks him right in the face. Like, that was awesome. They make it back to the valley. They start freaking out because Carmen's not there, but then she comes in on a wheelchair. They're relieved that she's okay. So she basically just sends them back. Then back to Barcelona. We see one of the most controversial scenes as of recently. And Hayden Schlossberg's been getting a lot of hate as of today. If you've looked at Twitter and Instagram, Robbie walks out of Zara's room all messed up. His hair is kind of just messy, and like he just looks out of it, and Zara walks out. And it's been confirmed that yes, they did do the thing. But Robbie was drunk. She wasn't. That's why fans are so upset, because they're calling it the R word, which I'm not going to call it that. Like, I'm not even going to say it because it's too controversial. But it was just, it's really weird. I felt like they should have written it better. Like, they should have written it where she was drunk too. Then that would have made it look a little better. But then again, it shouldn't have even been a thing in the first place. So the elevator opens. Tori sees her kiss him. He walks away. Doesn't even know Robbie didn't even know she was there. And then Zara flexes on Tori and blows her a kiss. And then, Tori was just like, are you kidding me? Like, the poor girl just can't catch a break. Like, it's ridiculous. And then, you have Chosen and Kim Dayoon fighting each other and then kissing, which was hilarious. And then Chosen on the scooter was hilarious. And then, like, the next day, like, you have Kim's hair down. So my assumption is they did the thing. I don't know. But they're like, what happens in Barcelona stays in Barcelona. Daniel meets up with Chosen, Kim, and, Kreese. And, they see Dennis with Sensei Wolf, and then they get the big reveal that Terry Silver is back, and he was the one behind Daniel's kidnapping, and that basically ends episode 8. I have to give episode 8 a grade. It's going to be a C-. This episode was just not that good. But on to episode 9. Episode 9 I actually liked a lot. You have Kenny back with the team. Miguel's back. You got the tournament back on again. Miguel and Robbie have like a talk where like Robbie says like, hey, I made a mistake. Tori ended things. And Robbie tells him that he thinks that Tori's been hooking up with Quan, which wasn't true, which we'll get to later. But Miguel, motivates him, saying like, you're our leader, like lead us, like you deserve this. So then you have Tori and Zara basically on her live and saying like, just, taunting Tori. And then Tori does the funniest thing. She grabs her phone and says like, yeah, she's a two-faced bitch. Like she doesn't care about anybody and she likes to steal people's boyfriends. And I kind of wish she just destroyed the phone because that would have been even funnier. But Kim comes in and she's like, I am tired of this off-the-mat nonsense. You need to focus. Then it cuts to Kreese. He checks his locker room and then he sees that the Yoon Jong-do, or whatever it is gone and it's replaced with like a spa thing or whatever you want to call it. So he walks up to Silver, says, you thieving son of a bitch, and just punches him right in the face. And he's like, where is it? Where the hell is it? And Silver's like, I have no idea what you're even talking about. And Kim's like, when did I become a babysitter? Like, they got the whole comedy stuff out of the way. But yeah, the fights in this episode, were pretty good. You had, Tori asking Kim if it was worth it, and she's like, absolutely. And then Kim, motivates Tori to fight Robbie in the tournament, like in the match, like match up against Robbie. Which I forgot the Kenny thing. Silver talks to Kenny, tries to get him back on his side, didn't work. Hawk and Dimitri see it. They still don't trust Kenny. They refuse to tag in Kenny. Robbie does the right thing, tags in Kenny. Kenny cooks. Then he does the little like celebration, then gives Silver the bird. And Silver just, laughs. So, Silver's more like proud of Kenny for that. And then like, Robbie's just like, what are you doing? And then Tori's like, don't pretend like you don't know. And like, once they get like tagged out, they start arguing on the sidelines, like basically saying like, you're the one who ended things. And she's like, I said we're on pause. That doesn't mean hook up with our enemies. He's like, oh, so it's okay to hook up with your teammates then. She's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, I'm talking about you and Quan. She's like, what? There's no me and Quan, you idiot. Your dumbass got played. Like, she basically like reveals that they were never a thing. Like, they never did anything. And, it was just Quan messing with Robbie. So Robbie goes in, does his thing, locks in, beats Quan's ass. Love it. And then Cobra Kai gets eliminated from the tournament. And then, like Miyagi-Do celebrates and Sam tells Tori like, hey, I wish you could celebrate with us. And she meant that in a good way. And Tori just nods and walks off. And then we get the scene where like Cobra Kai's like just sitting there in the locker room and Kreese, pulls out the Yun Jong Do because Chosen put it back like Kim warned him to. And, basically says like, this isn't over or whatever. And this episode ends there. I'm going to give this episode a B+. I thought it was a solid episode. I'll get to the final episode, which is episode 10. I thought episode 10 was pretty good. I forgot how it opened up, but, you had basically the aftermath of Cobra Kai losing. Kreese has the Yun Jong Do and like he's trying to sneak around, trying to, end Silver. Axel stares at Miguel and Miguel's like, all right, what is this guy's problem? And then Sam basically explains what happened and Miguel's like, oh, okay. Well, clearly this guy doesn't get it. And then you have Robbie talking to Tori and, Kwon gets in the middle of it. He's clearly still pissed off that Robbie beat him. And Robbie handles it very well and just tells Tori to get home safe. Like, I'll see you there. And Kwon's like pissed off about it. Tori's like, maybe you shouldn't have let him kick your ass. And he's like, what did you just say? And she's like, you heard me. You cost me my spot. And he's like, what were you going to do with it? You would have gotten your ass beaten by Zara. And she would have celebrated with your boyfriend. Then this makes Tori get mad. She stands up, says like, what did you like? Say that again. And he's like, you heard me. Then she shoves him. And then Kwon gets ready to hit Tori. Kim steps in and she's all pissed off. So Gunter comes out and says like the Russian Tiger Strike. Tiger Strike gets disqualified because they were caught using steroids, which using steroids for a karate tournament's wild, but so they get disqualified. So the ruling was that whatever dojo had the second most points scored would take their place. And what do you know? It was Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai had the second most points. So they get bailed out once again. They get back in. They announced the matches: Robbie versus Axel, Sam versus Tori again. You have Kwon versus the Diego guy, I think. And then who else was it? It was Zara versus somebody. I can't remember. But Kwon easily beats the Diego guy. Zara easily beats her opponent. Then we get Axel versus Robbie, and this fight was pretty intense. Like, Axel punched Robbie in the face hard and he spit out blood, but Robbie's doing the best he can. Then we get to the scene where Axel kind of like shoves Robbie into Quan and Yoon. Quan takes a cheap shot on Robbie. This pisses Robbie off. And this pisses Miguel off. He goes to walk, but Axel shoves Miguel to the ground. He's like, hey, man, what's your problem? Like, do that again. Like, things start escalating pretty quickly. And Thoery tries to intervene. And, Gunter tries to shut it down, but he gets clocked in the face by the Tiger Strike sensei. Then an all-out brawl happens. You have, Axel fighting everybody. You have, Quan fighting Robbie a little bit, and then some of the other fighters. You have Zara and Thoery fighting. You have Robbie and Miguel working together. Sam putting in work. Eli and Dimitri fighting well. Oh, I forgot to mention the locker room scene earlier. I think that was episode 9. That was a great scene. It was probably the most beautiful scene. Not just this season, but, in the entire show. Anyway, back to this. But all out brawl happens. Robbie goes to Thoery's aid. He picks up Zara and just launches her in the air. Like, that was funny. And he helps Thoery up. And she's like, you're going to choose her over me? He's like, it's not even close. Then Kreese thought it'd be a good idea to stash the Yoon Jong-do in the back of his belt. And he goes to, use it on Silver, but he reaches for it, but it's not there anymore. So then he has to fight Silver with his bare hands, and I like this fight. I've been waiting for this fight forever. Kreese versus Silver. That was really cool to see. And you have Johnny and Daniel versus Sensei Wolf. And even with Daniel's help, they were still struggling against Sensei Wolf, so he's going to be a problem. But gets revealed that the Yoon Jong-do was dropped and it's getting kicked around everywhere. But Robbie fights Quan still, and Sam helps Thoery. And Thoery says thanks, and Sam says anytime. So I guess they're all good again. But Quan hits Sam pretty hard. Axel doesn't like it. He goes over, shoves Quan to the ground, and is basically like beating the hell out of Quan. Like, Quan's not doing very well against them. He pretty much knocks him into the camera, but you have Amanda, Anthony, and everyone else watching it from home. Quan gets up and he sees the knife. He picks it up. He carries it with him, intending on using it on Axel. And then it cuts to Johnny kicking Silver in the face, getting payback for season 4. Johnny fights Silver. Kreese watches. And you can clearly tell that, like, Kreese just can't keep up with Silver. And then you have Chosen and Kim fighting side by side. And Quan tries to do some sort of like spin kick, and he fails miserably on it, but he ends up impaling himself with the blade, and Daniel tried to get there and stop it, and he just couldn't get there in time. He flips Quan over and basically confirms that Quan is dead. Everyone is shocked, like the whole arena is silent. And then Gunter says, like, cut the feed. Season, or the part ends there. And I forgot to mention earlier, we had that's what I couldn't remember. This episode opened up with Daniel's dream sequence fighting Miyagi. I was fine with the young Miyagi actor. Like, I think that was cool. I don't think the Pat Morita deepfake was really necessary. Like, it just didn't look great. Like, I'm not mad at it. I don't hate it. I just felt like it was unneeded, but it is what it is. And that whole storyline needs to be wrapped up. But it gets revealed that, like, Miyagi's match ended in death, and we still don't know how it happened. But Daniel asks Miyagi about it, or not Miyagi about it, excuse me, Gunter about it. And then, like, we have some training montages of Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai. where Tori's not 100% locked in. Kreese gets frustrated with her and saying like, when are you gonna step up? Like, I'm like, okay, Kreese, don't be a dick. Like, come on. But they had the training montages earlier, and you still have Johnny and Daniel bickering, and Miguel has to snap him out of it. So great for this episode. I give it a B plus. It was solid, but there's a couple things that I didn't really love, but the good stuff was really good in this episode. But yeah, that's my review. Definitely think this part was better than part one. I don't hate part one. I thought part one was all right. It just wasn't my favorite. I just wasn't a fan of some of the things they did in part one. The same kind of goes for this part, but you can clearly tell that it's the last season. But let's get into the chat. Don't you think they didn't let Sam stand out in the tournament? Seems obvious she's going to lose to Tori so she can move on for a new round. Yeah, I wonder how they're going to handle that because, like, they had Zara advance and, like, they already have that rivalry there. Well, Sam doesn't really have that with Zara, so I wonder how they're going to handle that. Like, I think they want Tori to get payback on Zara, so I don't know how they're going to do that, but we'll see. Think they might change the date for part 3. Yeah, if you watch that at midnight or whatever time it came out for you, it said February 13th. But if you go back and watch it now, it just says coming soon. So I have a feeling they might move the release date up. Bonsai Melissa. Yeah, I hope not. I hope they don't make us wait longer than we did for part 2. It's amazing how it's amazing because season 6 has new villains: Sensei Wolf, Zara, Iron Dragon, Terry Silver. Yeah, he's a great villain. Yeah, once you bring in Silver, Kreese isn't a villain anymore. Sorry. Silver was behind the Iron Dragons. Yeah, that was probably the worst kept secret. Hopefully in part 3 we get more scenes with Axel and Sam. It'll be interesting to see what they do with that. I think the kids are going to head back to the valley though, because I think the tournament's going to get suspended because of Kwan's death. Trying to get through Kovac. Yeah, I was confused about that scene. I was like, she just admitted that Kim broke her hand and he's okay. Yeah, I was like, yeah, it's like he doesn't even care. Like, it's like he doesn't even care. Good point. Not to mention he nearly killed Johnny just for losing. Yeah. Yeah, and Kreese just stands there and tells her to just basically deal with Kim. Like, it was just ridiculous. Tori thought that we make Robbie focus more, but it made him focus less. Yeah, it kind of just didn't work. Suppose it's due to Kreese vendetta against the Miyagi-Do blinds his judgment. Sensei Wolf, though he defeated Johnny and Daniel, I'm concerned for them. Yeah, Sensei Wolf he's good. Referring to the way he punished Johnny in Karate Kid 2, I would agree, but I don't recall Kreese ever make his students do that to their hands. Yeah, specifically, since when you consider that it took Kwan's death to finally shock Kreese enough to open his eyes. Yeah, I think this is going to finally, like, open his eyes to reality. Chosen had aided them against Sensei Wolf, then that Sensei Wolf would have had trouble against him. Yeah, probably. Final villains will be Silver, Wolf, Dennis, and Master Kim. Wonder how Master Kim will react to Kwan's death. Yeah, he's probably going to disown Kim Dae-yoon, and he's probably going to be pissed at Kreese. Thought the cage thing was weird. If he was tied up, then might have been okay. I mean, even that's kind of weird, too. Sam just froze to Johnny and Devin, and they needed it. Yeah, that was hilarious. I think Kreese may blame Silver or even Miyagi-Do's for Kwan's death. Yeah, he doesn't take accountability for anything. Miguel's 2v1. Yeah, that was awesome. Dimitri was, yeah, he was by far the worst character. He was so annoying. Like, he regressed back to season 1 and 2. Like, he was so bad. Armin and Miguel were both beasts. Part 2. Dimitri was really annoying in part 2. Yeah, it was ridiculous. Great. And you notice that no one, not even Miguel or Robbie, had the guts to do that. Johnny, the guy who loves to yell quiet, just stands there in silence and doesn't argue with her. Yeah, that was funny. The whole MIT drama was what ruined his character. I was on Hawk's side during their whole argument. Yeah. Dimitri mentioned MIT part 2. Yeah, he keeps mentioning it, and Hawk's like, shut the fuck up about MIT. Episode 7 was one of my favorites. Really? I don't think it was that good, but okay. Indirectly during the kick challenge, he indirectly mentioned it in the competition. Yeah. Tournament. Yeah, no tournament. Okay. What's up, TCKH? Chris never dropped the Yoon Jong Do quant. Yeah, he would have been alive still. I feel like Karate was over exaggerating when he said episode 8 was one of the worst TV episodes. Well, he does that a lot. You loved episode 8? I think it's the worst out of the batch, but okay. I mean, there's some stuff I like about it, but believe it or not, Robbie actually reminded me a lot of Johnny in that scene where he got drunk. Now he kind of shows how Sam felt back in season 2 when she got drunk. Oh, look who it is, Mr. Cobra Kai Karate. On table, I like episode 8 is a breath of fresh air, and I don't mind relationship drama once in a while. I felt like they were overdoing it in that, though. Like, I thought it was a bit ridiculous. This is when Dimitri ruined his... Yeah, it was... Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention that. And then Dimitri just goes off on Hawk and blames him. And I'm like, bro, take accountability. You're the one who did it. And then, like, Hawk's like, you shouldn't have done it in the first place. And then Dimitri just gives him the double birds and just gives him, like, the most childish face ever and just walks off. I'm like, oh, my gosh. Like, I'm like, this dude is an asshole. Oh, my gosh. Doing good. How you guys been? Good. The Johnny Miguel stuff is definitely the best part. Yeah, I love that. Love that part. Of them just having that heartfelt scene, basically like Johnny telling him that you're my son too. Like, that was so heartwarming. Kenny competing in the tournament was brilliant. Yeah, Kenny was cooking. Like, he cooked. Like, that was awesome. I think Sam was the first person to ever show Axel kindness. That's very possible. So far, I've been doing well. Sorry, I couldn't finish the lecture last night. Guy on the plane's name was Stu. Oh my gosh. Axel and Miguel are for sure going to be a rivalry in part 3. Yeah, probably. Yeah, that was so unnecessary. Or just not have them make up. Yeah. It's clear that Zara did that just to piss off Tori. Yeah. It's just more drama. I think that Zara did like Robbie because in episode 6 she says that he was cute and she didn't know about Tori and Robbie at that moment. Honestly, the whole Chosen and Kim having a one-night stand felt very weird considering that they hate each other in season 5. It was funny, but it didn't make a lot of sense. Yeah, that's Karate's problem. Episode 9 was definitely the best one. Yeah, 9 and 10 were my favorite too. My top 2 favorites. Zara liked Robbie, but making Tori jealous was further fuel for her. Yeah. Or just making Tori upset. Honestly, Yasmin dumped Dimitri for him dancing with Maria is the last thing since he was being annoying about the MIT thing. Who cares? Like, honestly, like, who freaking cares about that relationship? Like, do we really care? Tori kind of pushed Zara to get with Robbie. I don't know about that, but I like Chosen and Kim. It was out of nowhere, but it was fun, and it showed a different side of Kim, and they have a lot of backstory in common. Yeah, I thought it was funny. Hayden's getting hate. I mean, I agree that scene was extreme. That's putting it mildly, and I wish that they would have done something different, but I don't think there's hate for it. Well, even John Hurwitz said that he didn't like the way he answered it on Twitter. So John Hurwitz had to apologize on his behalf. It's episode 10 or 9. Dancing with Maria. Hayden said on Twitter that Robbie willingly made a mistake and there's no assault by Zara. Yeah, and if you go on Instagram and like look at, Instagram stories of like, fan pages, like they're all freaking out. Like they're saying like, oh, that's disgusting. Like you gotta see it to believe it. True, but Kim was trained by an honorless sensei, while Chosen was trained by a strict but honorable sensei. It's kind of like how Kreese and Miyagi had similar backstories. Like the way he did the Sekai Taikai events were cool, like the platform on the air, the tag team event, and the Captain's War, when it was really cool the way they handled it. Yeah, I thought the fights were really good. Okay, I didn't see that on Twitter in the Q&A. Oh, okay. Hayden did a great as Terry Silver's loyal. Yeah, I did like that for the start of episode 9. Like that was pretty cool that he got to do that. It opened with Miyagi Dream sequence. Yeah, I just remember that. Episode 10 is my top 5 favorite episodes in the season or in the show as a whole. Kim was trained by, okay, I already read this. Sato hardly had any honor, honestly. Dude was crazy and mad at Miyagi and was willing to destroy an entire village just because Miyagi would not fight. The steroid thing was a reference to Rocky IV, where Ivan Drago used steroids in his fight against Paulo and Rocky. Yes, I remember that movie. That's the best Rocky movie, by the way. Quan versus Diego, Zara versus Maria, Axel versus Robbie, Sam versus Tori. Yeah, okay, those were basically the matches. Sato's need for revenge clouded his judgment, but he had a bit more honor than young Chosen did, as he honored the bet Chosen made with Daniel. Yeah, everything is a brawl now. You know what's ironic is that you can make an argument that Kim is partially responsible for Kwan's death, because if she hadn't, then Kreese wouldn't have worn it. Dropped it only for Kwan to find it. Hayden said we're going to see more of Sam and Axel's dynamic part 3. Interesting. The brawl tops the skull fight and the LaRusso house fight. Really? Interesting. When I first saw Quan grabbing the knife, I thought he was going to use it on Robbie. Yeah, me too. I thought he was going to. I was like, Robbie, get out of the way. But no, he's going after Axel. Yeah, I was worried. I was scared for Robbie for a second there because it was happening so fast. Daniel was the only one to approach Quan, no one else. Yeah, because he's the only one who saw it happening. Quan probably would have used it on Axel, then moved to Robbie. Yeah, that might have happened. I heard a theory that Silver paid Target Strike to start the brawl. I don't believe that. Sorry. Quan death will get Kreese redeem himself. Yeah. He's going to get that classic Hollywood redemption. I will soon. I hope they move it to a Friday. Yeah, because February 13th is on a Thursday, because Valentine's Day is the day after, which is Friday. So I hope so. I think Silver's going to take over the Valley in part 3. They already did that. I don't think they're going to do that again. I have a feeling that Axel is autistic. Maybe. I don't think they will not be in Barcelona in part 3. Well, the tournament moves to the All Valley, given the footage we got for part 3. So now the tournament is moved. Yeah, I find that very weird, but, who knows? I hope Chosen and Kim end up together. I'd rather see that pairing than Chosen and Kumiko. Don't tell Cobra Kai Karate you said that, because he will tear you a new one. The Sekai Taikai and the All Valley Arena in part 3. Dimitri really pissed me off when he danced with the Spanish girl. Yasmin flew to prom from Australia for him, and that was just not good. That was just a dumb decision on his part. I feel like every season, the 8th episode. Yeah, it's always episode 8. It's always the 8th episode. For me, episode 6 is the weakest part of part 2, and that's mainly because of the 4 jokes. Oh my gosh. Also think season 6. Okay. Honestly, just take Dimitri out of this show. Oh my gosh. He will be in 5 episodes. Who? Imagine a MIT Dimitri and a Hawk spinoff. Who's gonna watch that though? I'm not. Yeah, I would pass on that one. Hey, what's up, Tristan? Part 2 felt like a season on its own, not gonna lie. Yeah, it feels completely different. I thought it was hilarious that Stingray tried to get Bert to testify in his bed. Oh my gosh. Episode 10 is my okay, that's cool. Kind of weird how he got Bert to testify since Bert wasn't even there when Silver beat him up. Yeah. Silver didn't pay the Tiger Strike to Starball because even he was surprised. Yeah, even he was shocked. That's classic Stingray. What's up, Zone? The GOAT. Can't confirm we'll see more of Axel and Miguel's rivalry in part 3. Robbie was selling the whole tournament. Yeah, he was. He just wasn't focused, but he was able to come in clutch when it mattered, and he got the job done. Remember, guys, not how you start; it's about how you finish. Tiger Strike started it on their own record. All right. True, but Bert is just a kid. He's testifying in court. It's weird. All right. Melissa, if you're still in the chat, I will send you the link, and I'll send Karate and Zone the link, and Tristan. Yeah, I just caught up with the chat. I could see you in the chat. There's a lot to talk about. But yeah, basically just finished my part 2 review. Now you guys can sound off on part 3 predictions. Part 3 is going to be hard to predict because we still don't know a whole lot. I think Daniel will have a dream sequence, fight the skeletons, or Silver hires people, beat up Daniel. Sam didn't really have a lot going on. Yeah, they didn't really do that much with her, but she did shine, though. Yeah, it's probably a dream sequence. In your opinion, who's most responsible for Kwan's death? Oh, Kreese. Absolutely. I think Kwan himself, because he shouldn't have picked it up in the first place, but Kreese shouldn't even have had it there to begin with. Imagine the fight with Daniel and skeletons fighting as a dream sequence, and one of the skeletons takes off their mask and it's Kwan. Yeah, I heard that. I heard the Chosen One talking about that on his stream, where like it could be a thing of Kwan's like, you could have saved me, but you failed. I tried to sound like Kwan there. I did terrible. What about the Russian sensei who started the brawl? Somebody asked Hayden if Hector is ever going to find out about his son, and Hayden answered, possibly. Who knows? Maybe he's in part 3. Oh, God. Oh, my gosh. Make sure it's actually Melissa. Yeah, it's Melissa. Okay. Let me find, where did I send it? I think it was somewhere after Zone's comment. There it is.
Hey, Bonsai.
Bonsai.
So yeah, so part two was really good. Like the best. I'm sorry, I didn't see that. I didn't actually see that that Hayden answer that answer on Twitter from Hayden. I didn't.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I thought they were just talking about the scene, like because the scene itself where it happened. That's what I thought. That's what I thought you were talking about. Like I was like, okay, why is hate why is hating getting hate? We don't know what we don't know what happened, But then when you mentioned that Hayden responded to a fan who asked that question, and he wrote that answer. Then I was like, okay, now I get it.
Yeah. So basically, the fan asked if it was going to get addressed in part 3, and he said like no. There's no assault. Robbie was drunk and made a mistake, and fans don't like that.
Mm-mm.
So that's basically what he did. And Charles didn't like the way you answered that.
No. I don't like that at all. Because it just basically implies that Robbie was taken advantage of, and that was okay. Because he was drunk.
Yeah.
And I'll say this, and you know what I find kind of funny? Not funny, not funny, but I don't mean it like that, but when Tori sees Robbie and we know what she's thinking, and we're all thinking it too, she doesn't do anything. Like, she just walks back in the elevator. But yet when Sam kissed back in season 2, drunkenly kissed Miguel, she starts an all-out karate war.
Well, Tori's grown since then. Like,
yeah, I know, but I'm just like,
if it was season 2, Tori would have done something.
I wish it was season 2 Tori.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, I wish.
I'm like, the poor girl can't catch a break. Jesus.
But yeah, I was like, oh my God. I was like, okay, where's season 2, Tori? We need her back now.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, kissing your then boyfriend. Okay, so a girl takes advantage of the boy that you love is, well, not okay with you, but you're not going to do you're not going to do anything about it. But when somebody drunkenly kisses your then boyfriend, that's okay. Like, I mean, that's not okay.
Yeah.
That's not. Is that Tristan?
Yeah, that's him. What's up, Tristan?
What's up? You guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yep.
we can hear you.
I hear you. I was just thinking. I think that
yeah, I didn't think anyone was gonna die either. People kept saying like, "Oh, Kwan's gonna die." Like,
I thought Kreese was
like,
gonna die.
not look like an idiot because I'm saying like, how is Kwan gonna die?
I'm like, no way they're gonna kill him off, and then they freaking.
I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna get roasted because I kept saying I don't know how he's gonna die. I'm like, oh,
well, you guys like talk about the Robbie and Sour thing right now.
Yeah, we are. Didn't help that Kwan went insane after he got. Yeah, I mean, he was gonna kill Axel, so it had to be him or Axel.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, I get people like the Kwan fans are like sad he's gone, but in the context of that, if anybody had to die, it had to be him.
Strike First Media was right. He had to go.
Dude, he was literally gonna murder somebody with that thing. So
yeah, it was over karate. Like, come on now.
So if anybody had to die, it had to be him. So
I just
yeah, Barnes is right.
Yeah, I want to say something in regards to it being Axel that accidentally killed Kwan. A part of me, like, I get why they did it, but a part of me wishes that it would have been Robbie, because I think that would have like really added to his added to his development. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or his growth. Like, set him up for part 3. Better.
Yeah, I think for sure.
Like, because think about it, if he think about what that would do to him if he accidentally killed Kwan. And we all know how much he and Kwan hated each other. Like, I mean, really think about what that would do to him.
Yeah, that'd be on his conscience.
Yeah, it would. Also, too, I have a theory that that I think I think the Iron Dragons are going to come back because if the Sekateke does continue into the All Valley, I have a theory that a lot of people, probably all the people, probably just about everybody, is going to be treating Axel like he's a murderer. Like
he didn't do anything.
Right, and even though it was an accident, and Quan was the one that brought the knife, but everyone's going to be treating him like he's a monster, except for Sam. Like, I think Sam's actually going to be the one that recognizes that that it was an accident, and that he wasn't trying to kill anybody. And that
I wonder if I actually acknowledge that, like that he's the one that kicked him. That Quan was gonna attack him, so I get why he kicked.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll acknowledge that.
But that could maybe put her potentially at odds with Miguel. Like,
yeah.
So, but
that's if they acknowledge he's the one that kicked him and made him fall.
Yeah, like he's the one who shoved him because Miguel's trying to back up Robbie. He's like, bro, what's your problem?
Yeah. I mean, it's been kind of confirmed that we will get more Sam and Axel scenes, and we'll get Miguel and Axel rivalry.
I think that'll be like the final fight of the kids.
Yeah,
they'll be back.
Honestly, I don't like the way I loved Axel. Like that was actually really really the only good part about really good part about episode 8 for me was the Sam and Axel scenes.
Yeah, and Johnny and Miguel too.
Yeah, and Johnny and Miguel. But I love how Quan just like when they met in the when they ambushed Sam and Axel in the alley. I loved how Quan just was just being a total jackass. Like Sam was trying to walk away from the fight. Sam and Axel were both trying to walk away from the fight, and they just and Axel and Yoon just blocked her, and
Quan gets in her face, and he's like, "What's the magic word?" or whatever.
No, he said, Quan kneels down to Sam's level and says, "Only if you say please." And I'm like, Sam, say please while you're while you're moving him aside.
Yeah,
I'm like, Sam, kick him in the balls.
So do it. No, just do it.
And then say please. Imagine if that actually happened. Imagine if Sam actually instead of Axel imagine if Sam actually as soon as Quan did that, just shoved or hit him. She was getting into a fighting stance.
Yeah. And Axel was clenching his fist too.
Yeah. And
then Yoon kicked him and barely did anything.
And then imagine if Quan was begging Sam to hit him. He was begging her to hit him. And imagine if she did, and she knocked, because he was drunk. And imagine if she knocked him on the ground, and as she and Axel were walking through over Quan, she looked him dead in the eye and said, "Please."
I
gotta say this though too. That moment. That was season 3, Sam.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely saw flashes of season 3, Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Quan was just the biggest asshole in this part, dude. When Quan was being a jerk to Sam in that scene, I was immediately getting flashbacks of Kyler. Yeah, this guy is way worse.
He's such a prick. He's such an asshole to Robbie or Sam, almost everybody. Especially Robbie. He wanted to get under that dude's skin almost every scene they're in.
Yeah.
Also, too, what I want to point,
dude. Yeah. Yeah. Also, too, what I want to point out is that seems like for part 3, everybody seems like so focused. Oh, Robbie has, like now that the tournament's been probably pushed into part 3, everybody seems so focused on again making on them wanting their characters to win, and I just have to,
Yeah.
the tournament.
I didn't really care who won
It's
afterwards.
bigger than a tournament now because
I didn't really care who won, like, because I was loving the
Here's the
characters so
thing.
much. I didn't really
I
care.
want to I want to put a theory out there that's going to help with what I said. We know how how we learned how Mr. Miyagi fought in the Sekai Tekai, and one of his matches resulted in death. We never found out, though, whether or not if Mr. Miyagi actually won the Sekai Tekai after that. I mean, we know he won that match, but we never found out whether or not if he actually won the Sekai Tekai. What if he actually either A, lost, or B, just abandoned it after that?
Yeah, I think that's possible.
And the thing of it is, too, if that happened, then that would show that you don't need to win a tournament to have the best ending possible. I mean, look at Mr. Miyagi. If he never won a tournament, yet he became one of the greatest karate master gods of all time. Yet he never won a tournament. Yet he never won a tournament to prove that. But we all know it. So whether it's Miguel or Robbie or Sam or Tori that wins this tournament, it doesn't matter. Because even if Miguel and Tori do win this tournament, it's not going to take away from Sam. It's not going to take away from Sam and Robbie getting the wins they deserve. That's going to get them their shine. And it's the same with Miguel and Tori. I mean, with Miguel and Tori. No matter who wins that tournament, no matter who gets the win, the wins for that tournament, it's not going to take away from the other character's shine. If anything, even if Miguel and Tori get this tournament win, I guarantee you that the wins that Sam and the wins that Sam and Robbie get will actually have a bigger meaning than the tournament itself. And because, like I said, look at Mr. Miyagi. If it gets revealed that he never won that tournament, that he stopped competing in tournaments, it just goes to show you don't need to win a tournament to be given the best, to not only be given the best ending possible, but it also doesn't downgrade any character, any character that lost, that wound up losing the tournament. If anything, it upgrades them.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you.
Roland and Tristan.
Yeah.
So honestly, at this point, like, I mean, I meant what I said, whether it's Robbie or Miguel, as long as it makes sense for the story and it brings everything full circle the way that it should. I really don't care which one of them wins. The only thing I care about is them winning it as brothers. That's what I want.
Yeah.
And same thing goes for Sam and Tori. Like, honestly, I know I've said Sam should win it because it makes sense for the story, but really, at this, like, if Tori goes back to Miyagi-Do, or if Johnny reopens Cobra Kai in part 3 and she goes back there with Johnny as the sensei, I wouldn't mind it if she won. I'd even root for her if she won.
I mean, things have.
I don't care who wins MMA. I want any of them to win.
I mean, things have changed, like just like the NFL, it's always changing. Because they had Zara advance, and Zara Tori has more beef with Zara than Sam does. I think it makes more sense to put Tori against Zara in the finals.
Yeah.
Right.
Than Sam, because Sam really didn't have much interaction with Zara.
Yeah, like,
So
only like
I
one
think
team.
that they're setting up Tori to win that. But she'll credit Sam though. Like I think that we'll see Sam and Tori versus Zara in like a street fight or something like that.
Yeah, and honestly,
then you can say the same with Miguel, Robbie, and Axel.
Even if Sam doesn't win the Sekai Tekai tournament, I guarantee you she's getting an arc. She's getting a great arc. And I think Axel might be the key, like, to it, or at least connected to it.
Yeah.
Somehow. But like I said, I think she's getting a great arc, because I think that her and Robbie now, after part 2, I think that her and Robbie are going to realize that there are bigger things that matter than winning a tournament. Like, I guarantee you, because I guarantee that they've learned that they learned a lot from their senses, and one of the things that they have learned is that one of the most important things that Johnny and Daniel actually hold above winning any tournament is them guiding and teaching teaching them and their friends, being senseis, being mentors. Like that to me that to me would mean way more than any tournament could ever give them,
Yeah.
So, and honestly, I think that whatever happens after that tournament is going to be even greater than that tournament.
Yeah, for sure.
The only thing I want Sam and Robbie and Miguel and Tori to get their shine. I mean, Sam especially, because she's been pushed aside for, I want to say, like, maybe 3 seasons.
Since after season 4, pretty much.
They haven't really gave her a big storyline,
Like, she hasn't really had a big storyline since
almost of her storyline she's got recently are like not the most interesting.
Like she's kind of just there at times.
Yeah.
But like
she's had great maturity and growth and development.
Yeah, that's good. But like besides like an overall big storyline, she hasn't really had one like that.
Right. Yeah. And now is the time to give it to her. Like, that's all that I want, like that's what I want for her character. And I think Axel is connected to that.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I think she's going to be the one person that actually stands by Axel. Because she's going to know like, Axel, me, even himself, is probably going to feel guilty for what happened and blame himself. But she's going to be the one person that's there for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sega Taika is better than the All Valley. Yeah, I do like the format better. Like, I thought the fights were cool, like the tag team fights and the captain fights and like the knockout platforms. Like, it was so much cooler.
Yeah.
They did foreshadow Tori versus Zara. Yeah, I feel like they set it up,
Yeah.
Sam might willingly walk away and let Tori win. Yeah, I could see that.
See it. Yeah.
I don't get why Quan would pick Sam in the first place. It's a good thing Axel beat the shit out of him. Yeah.
Well, I do because like he doesn't care. He doesn't care. He doesn't like Sam. He doesn't care. So
yeah, I think Axel is going to be redeemed. I don't know, but Zara's not going to be redeemed. Yeah. She's just a bitch. I don't care what anyone says. I think Axel turns on Sensei, Wolf, and Silver. Yeah, I could see that. Okay, that's not the real gym team.
And I think Axel Sam turns, is going to be, and I think Sam is going to be the reason for it, or a big part of that reason.
You guys remember in Karate Kid 2, Miyagi saved Johnny from Kreese. Imagine Johnny saves Axel from Wolf. Ooh, that'd be a cool
Oh,
callback.
that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Hayden said that Sam and Miguel's relationship is going to be put to the test in part 3. Hopefully they don't break up.
I don't
I
think
feel
so.
like they've always wanted Miguel and Sam to, stay together. I mean, they've put them together.
I really hope it's not like a big ass deal.
Like, they always put them together like 3 times. Like, they might have an argument about the situation because, like, Miguel's going to be pissed off at Axel because Axel pushed him to the ground when he was trying to help Robbie. So he's obviously not going to like that.
Yeah.
So him and Sam might have an argument about that. Yeah. Tori wins the second tie cup. Tori gives her All Valley trophy to Sam. Yeah, I could see that. Or I could just
I don't even know if they're gonna do that anymore.
I don't even think the writers care.
I don't think it's necessary. Just let her keep.
Like I said, I think the winning I think the true win that they're gonna give Sam is gonna have a more meaningful, impactful one than the Sekai Tekai could give her.
Yeah. We know Quan doesn't care. That's why he got his ass kicked. That's the most thing I'm happy about. Yeah, I mean, he was just doing what Kreese told him to do. And that's on Kreese as well. I think Mary Mauser said in some interview that Sam Miguel have a scene in part 3 that mirrors her golf and stuff date in season 1. That's interesting.
But
interesting.
Yeah. It's just like it's so weird. It's like, like you can see just when you can see where everything is, it seems like it's headed, it just takes a complete opposite turn,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Tyrell actually brought up a good point the other day. Like he actually said something really good. Like he said like Tori humiliates Zara at the Sekai Tekai. But Sam humiliates her even more in a street fight. Like,
yeah,
sort of like similar how Mr. Miyagi did with Kreese and Karate Kid 2.
Yeah.
Outside of the
like his quotes, gives Kreese his own quote from earlier in the Karate Kid 1.
Yeah.
What do you think happened to Kim Dae-yoon, the other sensei in season 5? Well, I don't know what happened. I mean, all the other senseis in season 5 got knocked out, so I just assumed they quit or whatever, or got sent to the hospital.
Or they're still unconscious at Silver's mansion.
Or they just got arrested. I don't know. They probably just quit. I mean, one of them lost a freaking finger.
Yeah.
So I hope part 3 doesn't have Axel beat Robbie and Miguel taking Quan's place to fight him in the final.
No,
I feel like that's going to happen.
I don't think they'll do that. No. If anything, I think Axel's going to actually join Miyagi, though.
Yeah, I can see that. There's a clip of Robbie kicking Axel in the face inside the dojo teaser, so it looks like the tournament is going to continue. Also, you see the All Valley Sports logo in the background. Yeah, I think it's kind of weird that they move it from Barcelona to the Valley, but I don't know. Maybe they explain that in the next part. But speaking about Sam, Quan was almost close to hitting Tori when she pushed him. Yeah, it looks like he was going to hit Tori pretty badly.
Yeah, he clearly doesn't care about hitting girls or women.
He has no problem with it. Thank God Kim stepped in.
Yep. Well, if she didn't step in, Robbie would have.
Yeah.
Oh my God! If he does that, I swear.
What the fuck? Maybe Silver with his money made the tournament continue in the Valley. Quan is a woman beater. Sorry if I'm saying it. Well, it is the truth. I mean, he kicked Sam, and he was gonna hit Tori, so
Yeah.
it might be Silver's doing. Silver's reputation is ruined in the Valley, so he may feel that winning the tournament in the Valley would restore it. Yeah.
Yeah. He might
I
do
mean,
it.
either that or Gunter made an agreement with the All Valley Committee or something.
But I swear if he bribes another ref.
Oh my god.
What?
God.
Yeah. When do you think if they do the All Valley tournament, or the Seke Teke at the All Valley tournament, what episodes do you think they'll do it in? I know the last ones.
I would say episode 13 and 14, and then episode 15 is like a huge epilogue.
Okay, I'm fine with that. As long as it's not the last episode.
Because I think it's going to be suspended in episodes 11 and 12, and I think 11 and 12 is going to be like the aftermath, and like it's going to be like the main teams like taking a break, like they head back home to LA. Like I think the tournament just gets shut down in Spain, and they have to like head back home.
Yep.
To beat your opponent who has more heart, you must be heartless. And Quan took his lesson to heart. Yeah.
You know what?
You
I
guys
was
think
also
that
thinking?
somebody else is going to die in part 3? I think Kreese and Silver are very possible because apparently prison won't hold him.
Yeah. You know what I was thinking? Sam might not actually compete in the tournament.
Yeah, that's possible.
Because after she saw like Quan's body, like she might be too afraid to.
And that we have the upcoming part 3 coming. There will be a death for sure, but I don't think they will kill off another kid character like that. Wouldn't make sense. Yeah, I think Kreese and Silver because I don't see because Quan had to die because he was just taking it too far. But I think Kreese definitely because this is what it's come to. Like literally, he's never dealt with the death of one of his own students. So, and it's because of him. Like it's because of his way.
Yeah.
So that's gonna affect him. William Zabka directed episode 12. That'll be interesting.
And think
Love
that
the
could have
look
been
on Silver's face when Gunther said someone cheated. He was like, it's not me this time. Yeah, I was like, oh god, did Silver pay off another ref? I was like, also, I think the baby is born episode 12. Ooh, I could see that.
Yeah, it could be. Any episode now.
Yep. My opinion, Quan should have been disqualified for attacking Robbie during the Axel fight, and Axel should have been disqualified for attacking Miguel during that scene. Yeah, I mean,
to be fair though, with the Miguel and Axel, Miguel did step out on the mat. I mean, so I don't know how that works. I mean, yes, I know he wasn't attacking or going after Axel first, but he did step out on the mat, and it wasn't his fight. I'm not saying that he shouldn't have, but I'm just saying like I don't know if Axel would have gotten disqualified necessarily for that.
It wasn't Quan's fight either, and he still hit Robbie for no
Right,
reason.
Right, but I mean, Quan I would understand getting disqualified, but I mean, and because Robbie back, but he instead Robbie, Axel pushed Robbie right into him. He didn't Axel. I mean, Quan, I understand getting disqualified. Honestly, Cobra Kai should have got disqualified. It's remained disqualified, and that would have set up a good part 3. But I don't know if Axel would have gotten disqualified, considering like Miguel like literally stepped out on the mat. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not defending Axel or anything like that. I'm just saying I don't know if he would have gotten disqualified.
My prediction is that Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do team up to win the tournament. That's where Kreese Redemption comes in. Yeah, that's what it's looking like because they both have a common enemy, and that's Iron Dragons. Episode 12, because Carmen's doctor, who's in season 5, episode 9, and season 6, episode 8, is credited for episode 12. If you're on the IMDb, be very careful. Just saying. Speaking Kwan's death, I noticed that Miguel, Sam, and even Tori were horrified by Kwan's death, and Tori didn't like Kwan that much. Yeah, I mean, he was the biggest asshole to them, and they were traumatized. They were horrified. Like, they never wished death upon anybody, you know? Praying that the episodes aren't short in part 3. Yeah, these episodes better be long as fuck, because it's only 5. Delay for May part 3. They better not do that. I'm gonna be so pissed because the Karate Kid movie comes out, and Noah was talking about this in our GC. If you haven't read the article, it's been confirmed that Karate Kid Legends takes place 3 years after Cobra Kai. Absolutely ridiculous. Fuck Sony. Yep. So if both Axel and Kwan had been disqualified, Robbie would automatically be champion. Axel was doing too much for pushing Miguel.
I agree.
I'm like, bro, I know you're salty, but come on.
Yeah, no, he needed.
Miguel's trying to stand up for his brother.
Right, exactly. He needs to back off Miguel. He needs to respect that Sam's in a relationship. I mean, I get why they're doing it. Story-wise, I get why they're doing it, but as a character, Axel needs to back off.
Yeah, like he's just staring at him. He's like, "What is this guy's problem?" Like, oh my gosh. Like, had Gunther hadn't been knocked out, I think Kwan would have been disqualified. Yeah, maybe. Gunther wasn't the ref though. Yeah, but he's the commissioner though. I mean, Tori did lose her mother as well. Yeah, that was they just refused to give her a break. I didn't watch part 2 late at night when it came out. Netflix. I woke up and watched it at 9 p.m. in the morning. I didn't watch it until like 9 or 10 in the morning.
You know, believe it or not, I actually just thought of something. But you know, like when Tori saw Kwan's death, that could have made her realize that Cobra Kai is not the way, or Kreese's Cobra Kai is not the way.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is like the final wake-up call.
Yep.
Like like Cobra Kai as a dojo, it needs to go. It needs to go. Yeah. At least Kreese's Cobra Kai, anyway.
Yeah.
There's so many leaks for part 3. I already don't understand how people. Yeah, I'm like, where is this shit coming from? Expect this one's true though, because she was credited for episode 8 long before 8 came out, and it was true. So I think it's true about 12. Also, there's someone else in 12 credited as a patient. Okay.
Wait. Oh, wait, what are you talking about, Ron? What is he talking about?
It's talking about Carmen's doctor or whatever.
Oh, okay. So, just CKW, outside of the tournament, like if Sam and Robbie don't win the Sekateka, what kind of arcs do you think that they'll have that have more meaning?
Robbie, I'm not sure, but I mean, Sam's got, you know, as they said in part 1 that like Sam's going to college. So I don't know. I agree. Kwan had to die 100%. I'd rather it be him than anyone from the main cast. Yeah. Definitely want to see Sam being the last person out Zara down in part 3, just like Mr. Miyagi did to Kreese and Dugan without getting hit once.
Yep.
I think the baby's born in episode 12 because the actress who plays Carmen's doctor is credited for that episode. I honestly
Okay.
think Robbie will take over Miyagi-Do as a sensei. Daniel did say he would retire. Yeah, I can see Robbie being a sensei for sure.
Yeah. What about you, Tristan? Like what arcs do you think that they'll have that Sam and Robbie could have outside if they don't have them win the tournament?
So I think that once Tori saw Kwan's body, it could have given her a flashback of her mother's death.
Yeah. Tristan, you there?
You there, buddy? He might be asleep.
Uh,
I mean, his microphone's on, but I don't know. We'll wait. Oh, private chat. Yeah, we can't hear you, dude.
yeah. Can't hear you. You're on mute, I guess.
No, it doesn't say his microphone's on mute. Okay, no, he's just muted it now. Okay.
You know, honestly, if I TCKH, I mean, and now that you brought up about Sam going to college, I don't think Sam's going to college.
So let me go. I was going to the Stanford is what he meant to say.
Yeah. I don't think either Miguel or Sam are going to college.
And I think Sam just wants to be with Miguel wherever he goes.
Right, but also too, if you think about it, part 2 kind of like revealed something about Sam. Like she wants to travel like the world. She said to Axel like there's so much world to see, and and Barcelona was just one of the places that she's glad to see. And she said that Barcelona was not a bad place for her to start. So maybe her and Miguel travel the world.
Yeah, I could see that.
Or maybe, like, I don't know. Like, do you think Sam could actually become like a sensei or mentor to Axel?
I don't know about that. I mean, they look like they're the same age.
Well, yeah, I know that, but I mean, you could still be the same
know.
age and be a mentor, you know?
I mean, I guess I don't really know. Hey, he's back.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Okay, now I was like literally talking when you guys were saying, "Yeah, I can't hear you." Like I was actually talking.
Sorry
no,
about
it's okay.
yeah.
I don't know, something was wrong. I don't know.
But yeah, I was asking like what kind of arcs if Sam and Robbie don't win the Sekateke, what kind of arcs or meaningful shines do you think that they'll have in part 3?
For Sam, I mean, like World said, maybe she'll have like a college storyline, and then for Robbie,
I don't know if Sam's going to college though. I don't know if she's going to college.
For Robbie though, I mean, maybe they hint at him being a sensei. Maybe they're like Daniel will hint to him like passing the torch on to Robbie. Maybe that'll be a storyline where.
Yeah, I don't know if Sam's going to college though.
Yeah, that's debatable. But for Robbie, I just feel like maybe they'll have like the storyline where Daniel wants to pass the torch on to Robbie and let him become a sensei. For me, I don't know.
Yeah, I hope we get Samantha Lurusso. I hope we get that. I hope we get that too.
I'll work at the dealership with Amanda by the end of the show.
Yeah,
I've seen people throwing that around a lot for a while. Iron Dragon spinoff. I don't think that's necessary, but they might do it.
Cool though. It would be cool though.
Maybe Axel, Sam, and Miguel travel the world as friends, and you see a spinoff about them. I don't know about that, but
I mean, because I feel like they kind of like they had a nice setup with Sam mentoring Anthony. They had a nice setup for that, but then they didn't do anything with it.
Yeah. Better not be any Johnny and Daniel arguing in part 3. I know I can't control what they're gonna come up, but them arguing that shit. Yeah, it's not even funny anymore. It's just annoying.
No, it's annoying.
Like, it's ridiculous. Like, just get over it.
Yeah.
Like,
what's your favorite scene? Or what was the best storyline in part 2 that you guys actually liked?
Ooh. Yeah, I'm trying to think, because like, you know, like I always tell like Johnny and Daniel, of course, but like I always have got to know them argue all the time, so it can't be them. It's hard to think of like the one specific storyline. Okay, maybe like I did like the Miguel and Robbie storyline where, you know, at first
say that.
They were like bickering because, you know, Miguel thinks like Robbie's like not taking it seriously and he's like losing focus, and then they both have that good like really emotional conversation, and they make up, and then they both freaking kick ass in the tournament. Like, I really like that.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say that. I was actually gonna say Robbie and Miguel's arc was my favorite. What about yours, World?
I would say Robbie and Miguel's storylines for sure.
All right. So Robbie and Miguel's arc.
I really like underrated one. I really like Kenny's little storyline too. But that's always one of my favorites.
Kenny was awesome. Can't wait for what's next after Cobra Kai. Not watching that garbage movie, but I'm excited for the next thing after Cobra Kai. Unfortunately, it is canon. Sadly. Fucking Sony. Robbie and Miguel's arc were the best in part 2. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Miguel and
Robbie
arguing actually made sense. Miguel's right about Robbie being distracted and him costing them their points. Yeah.
You know what I was surprised at? That Thoery didn't have like much of a necessarily of an arc in part 2.
Yeah, I mean, they really did not do that much with her.
So I wonder if that means that they're setting something up.
Yeah, I think she'll probably have like a...
Yeah, what was really her storyline? I mean, obviously she's so like grieving about, you know, her mom, but like that was like really for like one scene.
They barely addressed that after episode 6.
She only talked about like a one scene with like
they only bring it up
Sam and then Robbie, I think.
Twice like only 6, but after that, it's like they forget it ever happened.
Yeah, I thought she like be like more depressed.
I mean, like episode 8, Sam like says to Robbie, like, "Yeah, I feel horrible for her, but we can't keep letting her get in our head," you know.
Yeah, which she's right.
I thought Thoery be more depressed. Like,
yeah, probably. Yeah, but like episode 7, Thoery was locked in. Like, she knocked some girl's tooth out. Like she was cooking. Like, she was cooking until she saw what Zara was doing, and then episode 9, she couldn't focus either. Like, she was performing horribly.
Yeah,
like, she couldn't focus either. Not getting anything for a while to Cobra Kai, but it is what it is. Yeah, and I'm fine with that because, I mean, like the release windows between like some of the seasons are so close. Like, we got 2 seasons in 1 year, and that was 2021. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
People can't complain. Both Miguel and Robbie got wins in part 2. Robbie beat Quan, and Miguel was carrying the mean 1v2, the Dublin Thunders. Exactly. Getting eliminated. Yeah, like I said, Miguel carries. He cooked.
Yeah, he cooked. He made Robbie lock in.
He's the reason that team made it to the finals.
Yeah, dude, Robbie was freaking being like he was getting us frustrated.
Yeah,
like, dude, I get that you're freaking unbalanced, but there's no way you're losing to some scrubs. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, Robbie was looking like Dak Prescott out there.
Yeah, freaking like when it comes to the clutch, he can't beat any of the freaking. like, bro, you trying to get to like Zach Wilson levels of bad? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, Jesus. I had a funny dream this morning about Cobra Kai. Johnny found his ID and told him that's your driver's license. Johnny told me quiet. Next up, Hawk and Nietzsche kicked me out. It was funny. Wow.
Yeah, you know what? A lot of people complain about that scene where Sam had was telling Johnny off. About,
I don't care what anyone says. That was fucking hilarious.
I was more happy when she freaking told Devin off. I'm like,
I loved it. I don't care. That was funny.
Like, I'm glad she said, I don't know how you freaking made this team, even though she doesn't know how Devin actually made it.
I was like, damn. Like, I was.
It comes off more harsh because she doesn't know how she actually made the team. But I'm glad she said it.
I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, yes. And I was also like, for her, yes to Johnny, because, like, seriously, since the ending of part one, all he's been doing is blaming Daniel and Miyagi and for everything. And
what happened to freaking combining both styles? What happened to that? I don't.
Right. And I mean, and Sam was right. I mean, maybe it was the wrong place and time, but Sam was right. She was right, because Johnny was, you know what Johnny was doing? He was drifting back into Kreese, because that's exactly what Kreese would do. That's exactly what Kreese does. He doesn't hold any accountability for anything. And you notice how Johnny didn't even argue with Sam on that.
Like, even though, like, Johnny, it seems like he really doesn't like Kreese, he is more like him than,
right. I mean, and this is the guy that's been known to yell quiet to just about everybody, but he's the one that
shut him up.
Yes.
Right, but he's the one that actually was quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just stands there.
I'm just glad when she told Devin off. Like, yeah, Devin, shut up. Like, you literally made the team by cheating. I don't want to hear anything from.
She's like, don't talk to my sensei like that. Your sensei is the one that got you knocked off that whatever, that platform. So I don't know. Sit down if I were you.
Yeah, I don't even know how you made this team.
That actually was actually effective, like a effective captain mode of Sam.
Yeah, I'm like, damn, like, she doesn't even know how she actually made the team. Like, she cheated, but she's like, dang, you just suck. That's pretty much what she's like. You just suck. I don't know how you made this team.
Dimitri and Kenny combo against Yoon was
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Johnny even blamed Daniel for Tori joining Cobra Kai. I was like, are you serious? Yeah, I'm like, are you serious? Did you really just say that?
I love Johnny, but there's sometimes where he just never takes accountability for.
That's what I mean, and who does that remind you of? Kreese.
Miguel and Sam spinoff would be so cool. Them traveling the world,
Yeah, people get that, but like, I was like, dude,
Johnny,
you're the one that you're literally giving it until you're really instigating how she was like acting, like how matching.
Right.
Yeah, because she was acting like you, Johnny.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and Daniel was right too. It's like, oh, do you think it would? Oh, so you think it was? You think it would have been right for her to continue to fuel? You think it was right to fuel her anger, and to fuel her anger in that moment? And it's no wonder she went back to Kreese.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Can't with people saying Miguel is better than Robbie. Robbie's better than Miguel. Who cares at this point?
Who cares at this point?
Who cares at this point?
Who cares at this point? I don't know how people are still like freaking trying to.
The last season, like, who
let it go.
Cares at this point?
Let it go. It's not gonna matter.
Like,
truthfully,
they're on the same side. Who cares?
Right? They're equals. I'm sorry, they're equals. But yeah, I have to start heading out.
All right.
But sorry I can't stay for the whole stream.
That's okay.
But sorry if I went kind of like on a rampage, on a monologue about Sam and Robbie getting their shine past the tournament. I'm just so sick of hearing, like, that everybody acting like this tournament, like if their character doesn't get their win in the tournament, that it doesn't mean it. That doesn't mean that it doesn't mean anything. you know?
Yeah.
I'm just tired. Like, listen, this could, like, listen, we don't know if Mr. Miyagi won. That's why I'm like, we don't know if Mr. Miyagi won the Sekai Tekai. We just know that he won that match because his opponent died. So for all we know, Mr. Miyagi could have either A, lost the Sekai Tekai, or B, not continued at all, which again results in him losing the Sekai Tekai. And he still wound up wound up being one of the world's greatest karate masters of all time, god level like. Even he still wound up being he still wound up being a karate god, basically.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't get why people put so much definition on this on their character winning the tournament. We all have hopes that that our characters will get a win in a tournament, but it's like people put so much definition that they forget that the tournament is not what this series is even about.
One second.
Basically, I mean, I may kind of push a little bit hard for Sam to get a good arc. Just because she's been pushed aside since season 4, and season 3 was her best arc. I know I might kind of push a little bit hard, but really, I know she's gonna get. I know that she, Robbie, and Miguel, and Tori, and Daniel, and Johnny, they're all gonna get the best arcs, or the best arcs in part 3. And honestly, that's all I really care about. Hello?
Oh, I'm here.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, do you get the emphasis that people put on the people put in the tournament? Like, really? Like, to put as much
it's bigger than
on
a tournament now. Someone literally just died. So
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. But people are still worried about their characters winning the tournament now that they know that it's going to carry on into part 3. And I don't get it. Because again, like, people are acting like if their characters don't get their shine in the tournament, that's it. They're not going to get their shine at all.
Yeah.
I mean, am I being paranoid when I say that a little bit?
No.
Yeah, I think so too, Dragonfire. I think so too. And it might have happened in a similar way that it happened with Axel. That maybe his opponent brought a weapon into the tournament, and Mr. Miyagi did a move, and like, he didn't intend for that to happen. I mean, we all know Mr. Miyagi. He's not a murderer. He's not a killer. It doesn't matter what he was like in his past. It's just not, when you look at the person that he is, it's just not who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. So if I ever, just to let you know, if I ever go on too much about Sam or Robbie or Miguel or Tori, just shut me up, okay?
You're fine.
All right. All right. Well, I'll see you guys next Wednesday. All right. Have a great rest of the stream. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, happy Thanksgiving. Karate still needs to figure out what we're doing for the special.
Yeah. Are you gonna do a live stream next week on Wednesday?
Should be able to.
All right. So, well, happy early Thanksgiving. And I'll probably wish you a happy Thanksgiving next Wednesday. All right.
All right.
All right. Bye.
All right. All right. I'll finish off the chat. Then we'll get into week 12 picks. I believe next week is the Thanksgiving games, I think. I'm not sure, though. I think they are.
Yeah.
Aiden said we're going to see more about Mr. Miyagi's past in part 3. We're probably going to see what really happened. Hopefully Axel gets a girlfriend. Bro deserves it. Yeah, I mean, he's got to, tone it down a bit. Okay, see you later, Kyman Bell. Can head out. Be early Thanksgiving.
Oh, you too. Yeah. Axel gotta chill out.
Yeah, but bro, you just gotta accept it and move on.
Yeah, dude, you've been talking for like 1 day. And not barely even 1 day. It's probably I don't know how many minutes.
Yeah, I'm you've known this girl for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
All right. Thursday night football. Got the Cleveland Brownies versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. I gotta go to the Steelers, man. The Browns are just not good. I mean, division games are tough, but I just the Browns unpickable at this point. I'm gonna say score 21-10. I think that's fair. Got the Houston Texans, Titans. Texans should win this. Will Levis is all right. He's been better as of lately, but not really saying much. Stroud and the Texans should be back on track after a couple of rough losses. They did beat the Cowboys. Let's say 27-13.
Yeah, 27-10.
We got my New England Patriots versus the Miami Dolphins. Got Dolphins winning 31-24. It'll be competitive. We'll be able to score some points. But at the end of the day, we couldn't beat them at home with no Tua. There's no way we're beating them at their home.
I wouldn't mind you guys winning.
And historically, we don't play well in Miami. Even when Brady was here, we always struggled to get wins against Miami. The last time we won a game at Miami was 2019, and we had Antonio Brown back then, and that was the only game he ever played for us. Next, we got the Denver Broncos versus the Raiders. Gonna have the Broncos winning. The Raiders are pretty much checked out for the season. They're pretty much done. They just want the season to be over. They just want to have a high enough pick so they can get Shedeur Sanders. And they're going to do whatever it takes to get him. We got Lions versus Colts. Lions should be able to beat them. If I do a score prediction for this,
I really hope. I actually hope this is a closer game because it seems like maybe AR is getting back on track. So
yeah, but.
And Colts still have a chance to win the division.
But Lions, I expect them to dog walk them. I mean, I like the Lions, don't get me wrong, but they've been kind of playing like assholes lately.
I know.
They've just been they've just been doing trick plays at the end.
They've been bullying the bullies. I mean, bullying the sad teams.
They've just been playing like assholes lately. I'm this might come back to bite you, but. Next, we got upset of the century.
The Panthers, Bryce Young, you have the chance to do the funniest thing.
He's going to upset the Kansas City Chiefs.
Do you see the Chiefs going on a losing streak?
Legacy game.
Do you see the Chiefs going on? Do you see Chiefs going on a losing streak or something?
Let's go. Bryce Young gonna work his dark magic.
Dude, if freaking Panthers beat the Chiefs, dude, Patrick Mahomes is not going to hear the end of it.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, "Oh, you lost to Bryce Young."
Bryce Young is your father.
Get ready to meet your new father, Bryce Young.
I really hope the Panthers win, but I got Chiefs.
Yeah. But I'm willing to take the risk, though.
Just do it.
Next,
Just do it.
Got Vikings versus the Bears. Vikings should win this.
Why does a part of me want to pick the Bears for this game, though?
Darnold has been struggling as of late. Bears should have beaten the Packers, but of course they lose in typical Bears fashion. Field goal gets blocked, and that's it. Then we got Bucks versus Giants. Bucks should win this game. They're getting Mike Evans back. Tommy DeVito is going to be the quarterback under center for the Giants. I'll say it'd be a close game. Say 21-17, but
yeah,
Bucks got to win this. But we'll see. Commanders should be able to beat the Cowboys. Cowboys really don't have a quarterback right now.
We're going to get our ass kicked. I actually might pick my team only for reason I'm not going to pick any NFC East teams against me. That's just me being delusional. I'm just doing it.
Then we got one of the more interesting ones, Seahawks versus the Cardinals. Their division is wide open. I'm actually going to have the Seahawks win this one. I think it'll be a close game. I don't think it'll come down to the end, but I do think these teams will split. I think the Cardinals will beat them at their home, and the Seahawks will win this one. Then we got Niners, Packers, a rematch of last year's playoffs. Niners got to win this game. They may not even make the playoffs.
I don't know if pick here, dude.
But I'm going to have the Niners win this one.
I can see this being game of the week, though, for sure.
Then we got Eagles versus the Rams. I'm going to go Eagles here. The Rams are just too inconsistent, and they just don't have the best defense. I'll say like 31-28, something like that. I think it'll be a close game, but Rams are just too inconsistent. Then we got Monday Night Football, the Hardball Bowl.
We've had 3 Hardball Bowls. The one in the Super Bowl years ago. I think one before that, and not this one.
Say like
because he was the Niners coach.
24-17, something like that. Chargers defense is really good. Ravens defense is struggling.
I actually got Chargers winning. Oh.
Yeah, I'm going Chargers for the upset because they've been playing really good. But now look at the teams who are on a bye week. Thank God the Jaguars are on a bye week. Bengals are on a bye. Jags, Bills. Thank God the Jets are on a bye. Saints and Falcons. And then obviously with these results, here's how East Division looks. The Steelers would be 9-2. The Ravens would fall to 7-5. Bills, obviously, they don't have to play, but Dolphins go up to 5-6. Chiefs fall to 9-2.
What about Panthers? Are about to have more wins than us.
Chargers are right behind them. Chargers are right behind them, 8-3, and then you got Broncos at 7-5.
Chargers been an underrated team until this last night.
Texans improved to 8-4. This whole division is terrible. Like the Colts are all right, Jaguars and Titans are terrible. Jaguars are probably going to get the first pick again.
Texans have been
Trevor Lawrence might not play again this season.
Yeah. But Texans have been disappointing from what we thought they were going to be. And now Colts actually have a chance to win the division.
Nico Collins only played 5 games, and Diggs is out for the year, and then Will Anderson missed some time.
I mean, Colts still have a chance to win. Colts still have a chance to win the division now. That's okay.
Yeah, as long as he can stay consistent, and Richardson has to complete his passes. But we'll see. And then Lions just dominating the NFC 10-1. If they should be able to beat the Colts. Vikings 9-2, then Packers would fall to 7-4. Eagles 9-2, Commanders 8-4, and then the NFC West is wide open because like I could see like any one of these teams getting in. Because I think it's possible that the Niners could miss the playoffs because they're not as dominant as they were last year because of all the injuries they've been dealing with. And they're going to be in cap space.
And they got Chris McCaffrey back.
They just paid Brandon Knight. You're going to have to pay Brock Purdy as well. So you're probably going to have to trade either Debo or Ayuk. I think one of them
trade Ayuk. I feel like just trade Ayuk.
We'll see if anybody wants him because he wasn't performing well to start the season. So they're going to be in
I feel like because he wasn't training in training camp, so that he was a little rusty, but still.
But
receivers going to start.
Falcons might blow this division because the Bucs actually have a pretty manageable schedule, and you're getting Mike Evans back, and the Bucs they could have beaten the Niners. They almost beat the Niners with no.
And they don't have the two best receivers.
And they could have beaten the Chiefs without.
And they don't have their best receivers.
Mike Evans.
And Chris Godwin.
You take a look at their schedule. They have the Giants obviously this week. They have the Panthers next. That should be a game they win. It's almost December already. Crazy. December is going to be a good month. But as soon as it loads, they got swept by the Falcons.
Ready for next season. We're clearly not making the playoffs, so I'm just ready for next season.
But I think it's possible. But then they got the Raiders after the Panthers game. They should win that one.
Yeah, Bucs should make the playoff.
Chargers, I think that's a loss. But then they got the Cowboys. That should be a win. Then they have the Panthers again. That should be a win. Then they have the Saints at home to end off the season. That should be a win. So, and that they could get in. But Caleb with a K. Just the end, I guess. I mean, it's crazy that this is it. It's going to be the end, man.
I expect Silver to still probably be a villain. We're obviously going to still have this tournament from what we've seen. I don't know how it'll end up. But we're going to see some, emotional scenes because it's going to be the last season. So they're going to try to, do a really good farewell. So.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see how the Thoeries and Robbie relationship pans out. See how they work that out.
I want to see how everybody deals with Quan's death. See how they're gonna deal with that.
I think Robbie and Thoeries will forgive each other and work it out.
Oh yeah, they have to.
Because they're such a perfect fit, and you can tell they actually care about each other.
Yeah.
You can see the connection because, them being apart and with the Quan and Zara stuff, it was bothering them both. Both of them couldn't focus. Good night. All right. You too. Niners are going to win. It's a win or go home. Yeah, they have to win this game 100%. I mean, they had the Seahawks game in the bag.
Yeah.
All they had to do was just drain the clock. But, Seahawks just forced them to punt, and Geno worked his magic.
Geno finally got his win against the Niners. I don't think he's beaten the Niners.
The Seahawks finally beat the Niners, because the Niners have been dominating them.
Yeah. I think it's the first time Geno's beaten the Niners ever since he's been on the Seahawks. So.
Titans will upset the Texans. I don't know, but we'll see.
I mean, it depends on how freaking the Texans play because I feel like they're gonna start playing good again. But they need to start doing it quickly.
Both teams have a good defense. I mean, the only problem is Will Levis. He has a good arm, but he makes boneheaded mistakes.
Yeah, he has a really good arm.
Mistakes.
He has really good deep throws. I'm like, damn, this guy has potential, but then he does really
he's got talent.
He's got talent. He does really dumb things. I'm like, dude, oh my god, you're bad.
I'm like, dude, what? It's dude, what the hell was that?
Yeah, I thought Titans were actually going to be a decent team this year before the season started. I was completely
Yeah,
wrong.
I thought they'd be
I actually thought they
competitive.
could be like a 7th seed because I thought they actually got like a good team. You know, they had D-Hop, they had Tony Pollard, they
Yeah,
had
like I
Tyler Boyd.
thought. Yeah, like I thought the division would be more competitive because
Because they
like
have
the
Tyler
Colts,
Boyd, D-Hop, and not anymore.
like
And Tony Pollard.
because
They
like
got
the Colts
Legarius
have some
Sneed.
good players. I was
Yeah, they
hoping the
got Legarius.
Jaguars would be. I
Yeah,
was hoping the Jaguars would be better than they actually were, but
yeah, they got
because
Legarius
last year
Sneed
they were
too.
like 8-1 at one point, and they still missed the
Yeah,
playoffs.
they were literally the 1 seed.
Yeah, they're the 1 seed at one point, and then they just fell off a cliff after Trevor Lawrence got a concussion.
Yeah. So that's why I was like,
Yeah,
is he really overrated?
Doug Peterson's probably gonna be one of the
I
first
was like,
coaches fired.
when I saw that, I was like, is he really overrated, or is it just the team just folded? But
Like,
mix of both.
I mean, like their offensive line is not very good, and their defense is horrible. Like they can't cover anybody. They can't stop anybody.
And then we see them how bad they are. Even though I do think Trevor Lawrence is a little overrated, you see that he does help this team to some degree because look how they're playing.
Yeah,
now.
I mean, at least he can throw deep passes. I mean, Mac Jones can't throw past 10 yards.
He made some really good games competitive.
When he tries to go deep, he throws a dumbass interception. Like you just can't do it.
And he competed with some teams. He almost beat the Packers. He competed with some other teams.
He's just not like I've made peace with it. He's not an NFL starting quarterback. Sorry, he's just not.
Well, who will Levis?
No, Mac Jones.
Oh yeah, dude! If freaking Trevor Lawrence is in a game, they're gonna lead. They're gonna literally beat the Vikings.
Yeah, the Niners spanked the Pats and the Cowboys when we played them. Yeah. And we had Jacoby Brissett out there, and he was not playing well.
I thought you were actually gonna win because you guys were injured, so you guys weren't like a fully healthy 49ers team. So I thought we had a chance.
Yeah, but I'm gonna end the stream, guys. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next week. Good night.
Good night. So, were you a Supernatural fan?